this is what we worked on today. It's a topographic map of a region in Alaska, and this is specifically around the Baranof Island, or the town of Sitka, which is located on Baranof Island. It's very, for myself and for Beata, very significant place for us. We spent a year there, like this not last year, but the year before that, and that's actually where we met. And so we were like, we want to do something, you know, that has significance. And also, we have nothing on our walls. So we were like, we need some help. So anyway, I feel like I mean I have to say that the amount of collaboration that happens here is incredible, and there's no way we would have been able to do this without, like, you know, without the help of Anna and Joel and Robin and of course JR and, you know, everybody who's here. So
everyone at Make-a-thon.
Yeah, so anyway, we're really happy with this, and basically this is just doing stuff with the laser cutter, and the gradations that you see are 500 foot increments. So you have sea level, which is level with the sea, which is like the base, the base where you see Indian River printed, that kind of thing, and then yeah. So I'm talking too much. Do you have any?
Well, we learned a lot today. We never used the laser cutter, so we learned how to do that. We also had to sketch out the lines for the topographic map. We had to figure out what we were doing. Like what parts we actually wanted to do, and also the acrylic part was something that we thought of towards, like, we got advice about that and like recommendations, and we were kind of choosing different materials for that, and that kind of came together at the end.
And a big challenge was trying to figure out where the how we were going to get the map that, like, topographic maps for me. Like, when I look at them, I'm just like completely blown away and intimidated by them. And so, you know, I'm fascinated. I think they look really cool. So I think the big challenge that we started out with was how are we gonna actually translate this into something that's that's doable, it's manageable. Obviously, you can't copy every line; that would be too many layers. So we settled with, we have a total of 8. I guess, right? Including the bottom board, 7. Okay. Yeah. So we have a total of 7 layers, and each of those layers was sketched out in Inkscape, and then cut out with the laser cutter, and then stacked. So what we see this as eventually is a piece that can go on the wall. But in the interim, because it's not yet glued, we want to stain the individual pieces to reflect, like, topographic elevation gain, kind of variation, that sort of thing. And so we're calling this and with thanks to you, with a conversation that we had earlier, a interactive coffee table puzzle. So that's what it is for right now.
Is it intended to be on the wall?
It is.
Yeah.
I would I'd be careful with the staining. The reason why is when you put it on the wall, the shadow quality will be completely different. In other words, that's flat on the ground. You're seeing shadows casted from a light like this. You put it on the wall, it's going to look. That relief will stand out. That relief will just completely. That'll pop. It'll just look completely different off the wall.
Can you?
That's just because of the light. That's just the way lights will hit
Yeah.
it. I'd put it on the wall. I would try to. I know what you just said is you're going to put it together and stain it before you glue it together, which is going to make it hard to see it before you put it on the wall.
Well, you can use like a little bit of double stick tape or something.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Yeah. Stand it on the wall first before you go stain it. You might like it better that way. That's why. And just remember, when you finish it, when you put a finish coat of whatever on it, most finishes will darken it. Will darken that as well. So it'll get a little darker.
Can you show us how you figured out how to stack them into the right spots? Or tell us.
Yes. So to figure out which parts to cut and which parts to etch on top of it. So that's why it can also be kind of like a puzzle in that sense. And also we only had 4 pieces of wood, and so we couldn't just like, and we don't want to waste any of it. So we had to like take them apart and copy them and figure out how they would fit, and then put them all together with the etchings and like make sure we weren't making duplicates. Yeah.
Did you do all of the Inkscape sketches first and then cut, or did you do kind of go back and forth between them?
So we started with the like main one that had everything on its sketch, and then you can make like different layers within it. So like we would like copy the entire thing to a different layer, and then this was like seafloor layer, and then like what are we gonna do here, and then it would be like the next layer. But then within that layer, we'd also be putting like a peak on there because it fits. So like I don't know, it was just like it was all first done, but then you have to like figure out which parts you're cutting, which parts you're sketching, and
So
that was separate.
So the larger outline,
Was
all
done
of that was done from the outset. Like we completed that first, but then like split up the individual layers in order to like make the
So
board
you-
arrangement work.
So did it take a long time to come up with the concept of like how you would do it before you even started cutting anything? Because it sounds like you had a good plan
It
to
kind
do
of,
it. Or I was just curious how that process worked.
well, it came together, I think, as it went. I mean, JR helped us in the beginning, even just with the idea of like, you know, etching it on and everything, in order to know where to place the pieces. But in the beginning, we kind of just had the like, because we were learning how to use the program in the first place. So like, first we just had like all of it sketched out, and then we're like, okay, let's figure out how we're gonna do this first layer. And I think when that happened, we're like, now we know what the process is, and so we're gonna go with that. Yeah. And then we had to make adjustments because like it was oriented the wrong way that it was printing, and like. Yeah.
So, are there any final judges' questions?
Where'd you meet?
Point on the map.
Oh, yeah.
Like over here.
No,
Where is
further
it?
up, further up. It's on
Where
Indeed.
is it?
Uh-oh, fight.
No, you're right. I was sorry.
Engraved a little star.
Whenever I do that, I always think like location of first kiss. Okay, and that was
That's-